Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me for another Make It video. Today we're going to be looking at this fantastic Dog Rose A5. It's a landscape card, and you can see it's got some lovely depth and dimension to the card. There's a little bit of glitter on the stamens and some of that beautiful faux dew effect on the petals there as well. And this is from our Floral Fantasia CD. Now this is an older one, it's a couple of years old now, but again it's still a firm favourite, and there's some beautiful floral imagery on there. There's irises, there's dog roses, which is what we've just made there. I'm going to be showing you how to make that. Roses, there's tulips, there's some beautiful daisies, there's lots and lots of beautiful imagery on here. Now you get backing papers, you get toppers, there's pyramid toppers, there's also the A5 card making sets as well. And I've gone ahead and printed off the set there so you can see exactly how I've made this card from this kit. So you're getting variations on the sentiments: happy birthday, get well soon, and happy anniversary. That's the Dog Rose backing paper. You have on the second sheet, you have the decoupage layers that I've cut out. There's also a gift tag which I haven't used. There's an envelope seal if you wanted to make the envelope match the inside as well, and there's also a decorative strip with the flowers that you could also add to the envelope if you wanted to as well. So there's lots to go at on that one, lots of different variations. And again, if you wanted to make it into a smaller card, you could cut that down to a 6x6, or if you wanted to make it into a larger card, print off one of the backing papers and turn it into an 8x8. The choice is entirely yours. It's a very versatile CD, and I'm going to go ahead now and show you exactly how we did. Okay, so I've gone ahead and cut out all of my pieces. As you can see, I've got the backing panel, I've got the decoupage layers, I've got the main panel which goes onto our main image there to give it a bit of depth and dimension. What I haven't done yet is I haven't gone round the edges with the pens. So I have brushed corduroy. I could just as easily have used vintage photo or something like that, and all I'm going to do is just to quickly run round the edge just to hide those white edges. Just give it a light brush in, and that just then hides any unsightly white edges that you don't want to be seen. So all I've done is I've just picked a sympathetic colour to the main colour around the edge of the layer. So literally just gone round, picked a darkish sort of browny greeny colour, and that's going to hide those white edges from being seen. It just gives it a little bit more of a professional finish, if you like. Just takes your card making up to that next level. So I'm obviously not going to use that one on the pink of the flowers. For that I've pulled out my worn lipstick one, and again just using the brush tip I'm going to go around the edges just to hide those white lines. It just gives your card that bit more of a professional feel if they can't see those white edges. So I'm going to carry on doing this, and then I'll be back when I've finished with all the other layers. Okay, so I've gone ahead and gone round all of the edges, hiding those white spaces. Now, people like to give a bit of dimension to their florals by just creating a little bit of a curl, which you can do as well. I'm just going to give mine a tiny little bit of a curl. I'm not going to give it too much because it's not going to sit perfectly if you do it too much. So it'll just give it a little bit of curve to it, and you can do it if you're using 3D gel, then you're probably going to get a better effect from this. So I'm just going to put those to one side there, and then I'm going to start sticking down the main panels on the front of my card. Okay, so for this I've chosen a red background, so I'm going to just stick that down with a little bit of a border all the way around, just using some wet glue. a little bit of wet glue gives you a little bit of wiggle room rather than double-sided tape. That will grab immediately, because if you don't catch or don't line it up perfectly first off, then you've got a little bit of time before it grabs finally to manoeuvre it into position where you're happy with it. So I'm just making sure I've got an equal border all the way around, and then just let that set and sit for a second. Now before I forget, I'm going to stick in my insert panel in the middle, do exactly the same thing into the inside of the card. Now again, this is something that you could stick onto vellum if you want to, or just stick it directly into the card as I'm going to do. So open that up and then just plop that straight in the middle. Just make sure that that is as centered as we can get it. I think we're just about there. And then we can forget about the inside. Now there are some extra elements that you can use if you want to. Now you can use this on the envelope, like an envelope seal or a gift tag that's going to go with it. Now you can stick it down the front if you want to, just cut it down to whatever length you want, or you could use that on the inside of the card, or you could use, like I say, on the envelope to make it all match. Okay, so for our decoupage layers, I'm going to put the base up on foam pads. Now all I'm going to do, just for ease of use and for the video, is just put one in each corner, one in the middle, and then because we have a sticky out piece here, I'm just going to put one right there. And that's all I'm going to do for the purpose of this video. You can put as many foam pads on or use 3D gel, use 3D foam tape if you want to. It's really up to you, and you just fit this in around your normal practices. But for, like I say, the purpose of this video, I'm just showing you how I do that. So all I'm going to do is just line that up with the base and then just drop that down and then give it a little push down. And then again we're going to take our decoupage layers. Now on this, because I've put a bit of a curl on, I'm only going to put one foam pad right in the middle. And then I'm going to line that up with that. And because we've put a little bit of dimension on the curves of the flower, I'm only going to put foam pads just in the centres. So I'll put that about there, because it doesn't need anything else. Now again, if you want to, you can just add that little bit of extra curve to your flowers. Just curl them up a little bit if you want to, up and outwards, just to give it that extra dimension. Line that up and just pop that down, and then do exactly the same thing for that last layer. And for this one, I'm only going to place the foam pad behind the yellow stamens, because we want that to have a bit more of a curve to it and stand out just that little bit more. So I'm going to just turn that round, line the leaf up, and then just pop that straight down. And there you go, you have that lovely depth and dimension to the card. Okay, so the sentiment is just going to be a straightforward sentiment that I'm going to pop some foam pads under, one in the middle for stability and one at either end. Again, if you were going to post this card, you might want to use something a bit more substantial. Just take the backs off there. And then you can put that underneath or off to one side. Now I think I'm going to put it just off to one side, like so. And there's our card. Now we have the opportunity to bring in a little bit of decoration, so I'm going to have a quick look through my gems and pearls and see what I've got that I think might look rather lovely. Let's see, I've got some very deep purple pearls there, which I think I'm going to use. So these are on a string, so I'll just grab a knife So these are not individually, you can actually lift a whole string of the pearls up if you want to. So I'm just going to cut after that third one and then just peel all 3 off in one go. Put them on the end of that, and then I'm just going to add those 3 pearls just down there as a little bit of decoration, and then I'm going to cut 3 more. Just cut that bit of glue off, just remove those from the sheet, and then I'm going to add those to mirror up in that corner there. Okay, now at this point, if you wanted to, you could drag out your Wink of Stella pen and add a little bit of shimmer just to the inside of those stamens. I'm only adding a tiny bit. I don't want too much. There we go, just a tiny little hint of glitter, and then maybe just a little bit on those behind, like so, just to give it that little bit of lift. And just adds a little bit of interest and a little bit of spark. I don't know whether the camera's picking that up, but there is a tiny bit of glitter in there. Let me just see if I can get some more coming out. That's more like it. That's better. Camera should be able to pick that up in a second. Just add a little bit like so. Now I'm hoping the camera's going to pick that up. When that dries, obviously it will just leave that glitter behind, and that gives it a little bit of sparkle. And then if you want to, I'm going to see if I can get my glossy accents to work. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a few blobs of glossy accents on the flower, just to make it look a little bit like morning dew. And then maybe one there. And that's it. I'm calling that a day, because I don't think it needs much more. There you go. So I hope you enjoyed that. Quick and easy card from the Floral Fantasia CD. And if you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more of these tutorials from us, then please remember to click that subscribe button at the end of the video, and you'll be notified in your email when a new video is uploaded every week.